Dearest Madeline and Olivia, get ready. Here comes another note from your father. I realize I've only been writing to you in one way or another since well before you were born, in those journals that we gave you from your childhood. And of course you read notes from me all the time on email and Facebook and Snapchat and WhatsApp and regular texts. My own father was not a writer, to put it mildly, so it's always fascinating to me how much we communicate, very different from my own upbringing. But Emerson asked me to write you a 5-minute letter and read it at today's service. And not just any letter. According to the leaves, this letter is supposed to be about hopes, dreams, regrets, worries, wisdom, and love. But no pressure. Of course, on Father's Day, it's hard not to notice that little list is pretty much the job description for being a parent in the first place. I feel an unlikely candidate to speak on Father's Day because I am a frequent critic of traditional masculinity. As you know, one of the first things we had to make clear to our friends at Emerson was that neither of you carry your father's last name. In 1998, we were sitting back there in a service where a lay leader mentioned you both from the pulpit, but called you Madeline and Olivia Nelson. And I had to call out, their last name is Calvi. We're all about smashing the patriarchy. As I think about it, right now it feels like the patriarchy is doing serious work smashing itself. So we'll see how that turns out. But if the patriarchy is problematic, how do we learn to be fathers? Neither of my parents had fathers who gave them a whole lot in the way of role models. Both my grandpa Nelson and my grandpa Hay were quiet, reserved products of the Iowa farm community. I rarely heard my parents talk about things they learned from their fathers. You could tell they learned a few things through observation. My dad got his work ethic through Reuben Nelson. My mom got her sense of humor from Leo Hay. But a lot of the big discoveries of their lives seem to be things that my mom and dad learned independently. When I came along, that they often didn't know how to help me. My dad was unprepared for a kid like me. I had no interest in sports or camping or Indian guides or the Rotary Club or the Republican Party. Mostly wanted to stay indoors and read. I tried to be a different parent with you, to look more at your needs than mine. Maybe that's worked by and large. Where it hasn't, we happen to know plenty of therapists we can recommend. But I feel pretty sure no matter what kind of job I have done, the biggest things in your life will be probably things that your parents have nothing to do with. You are amazingly now 18 and 21, and the world that you enter will not be your parents' world, like it wasn't for me, or for my parents, or for my grandparents. As you step into unknown territory, please be so kind to yourself. Because you will absolutely have your own regrets and mistakes. Forgive yourself. Becoming an adult may often feel like skydiving. Even if the people who came before you packed the parachute right and it opens, you're going to be blown around a bit. Sometimes it'll be colder than you thought it would be. You won't have as much control as you might like. The landing may be a little rough. You probably won't come down exactly where you planned. Of course, this metaphor is all speculation. It's your mom who goes skydiving, not me. Don't even ask. Anyway, you will be taking risks, and there's no guarantee how things will turn out. I can write a list of my own mistakes as long as my arm. The list gets longer all the time. But the thing that always enabled me to take another risk, to venture into the new, to work without a net, was that I knew people would be there for me if things exploded. I knew whatever else happened, I was loved, and that love would help me survive. And if I've succeeded at anything, I hope I've made sure you know how much you are loved. I'd been at this church for years before one day I heard the reading that summed up my feelings about parenthood. It's in our hymnal. It's called Your Children by Khalil Gibran. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you, for life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children, as living arrows, are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and bends you with might, that the arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness. God, am I glad to be your Father. Love, Dad.